A lot of jails, inmates get together and they plan new crimes on the outside. But that's the only reason is because they're treated like criminals.
And I think a lot of punitive jailing systems have that effect. You know, they not only put a lid on the kettle and keep the steam pressure up about your emotions while you're here, but then they, if anything else, you're learning from so-called hardened criminals better ways to be illegal, maybe.
Well, our primary mission is to hold sentenced and pre-sentenced offenders, mostly pre-sentenced offenders. That's the difference between jail and prisons.
I think this jail is fairly exceptional in that they don't focus so much on the punitive aspects as they focus on the fact that, you know, how'd you get here? How did your life go from where you felt fairly functional and legal to where you are today? And I've heard Don say that very thing.
Well, generally, you know, our philosophy is that we try to have people leave here in better shape than when they came in.
I mean, I worked for different jail administrators, and they would never take the time to go talk to an inmate. Don will go in there and he'll have lunch with them. He'll sit and talk to the inmates, you know, and he gets personal with them. You know, and that reflects, I think, amongst the rest of us, because we take the time and get it to go in there and know the inmates as well.
The jailers here are awesome. They've given me a lot of respect, and in return I give them back that respect.
It makes it much easier to deal with during a shift when you treat people politely and with kindness, and by being polite and courteous to me.
I've been incarcerated in the Aspen and Pitkin County Jail for receiving and getting myself a DUI. They gave me 3 months or 90 days. And it's probably one of the best things that have ever happened to me. They've given me the opportunity to seek help for my addiction and my alcohol use.
About 80% of our population has some sort of substance abuse problem when they come in here, you know, that maybe has contributed to their criminal activity.
The meetings here are great, and, you know, because I used to go to meetings out because I had to, and now I'll go because I want to. Them allowing us to have these meetings in here makes it an easy transition to going out there.
They allow me to go to work. I'm on work release. They give me 12 hours a day to go to work and just enough rope to go and hang myself with. I have a pregnant wife that's 6 months pregnant. And one reason it's one of the best things to ever happen to me, I can be there for when my baby is born. I'll be able to complete my jail time and work on my programs while I'm here.
Because of that, you have to have exceptional people working here. You have to have people who understand that, you know, have a certain amount of compassion for the person who ends up being an inmate, instead of just labeling them bad or crazy or sick or illegal or whatever.
Well, in Aspen and Pitkin County in particular, there's not a big safety net for homeless people or people without resources here. So we end up, law enforcement, and particularly this jail, ends up becoming that safety net. You know, for a number of individuals, we have been that, and this particular individual was one of them. I mean, she took a swing at one of the officers that accosted her one night when she was drunk. They just gave her a summons for that, but then when she didn't show up for court, then they took her into custody, and she's been here for a couple of weeks. She could plead guilty and get out tomorrow, except that she's got no place to go. You know, we're taking care of her medical needs. She hasn't seen a doctor in a while. She is a severe alcoholic. She has some mental health issues. We've had our jail psychologist come in and meet with her.
So like this lady today, I'm taking her to get a wheatgrass over at the health food bar, but we're also working on some other things, you know, as far as her eventual plan to satisfy the courts.
You know, and when I worked in Garfield, we didn't do those kind of things. We didn't go out of our way to help people down there.
And they care. They want to see people succeed here.
You feel like you're somewhat relevant when you're helping somebody out, and you're not just showing up here and punching the time clock.
I don't think the attitudes are so lax that if there's someone who's just here saying, I'm putting in my time, don't talk to me. They can do it that way too if they want.
If you can be nice to somebody and help them out without being taken advantage of or manipulated, which happens sometimes.
Yeah.
But a lot of times. But it still helps people, and why not? I mean, you know.
Few people are forced to change. You know, it's not a high motivator, you know, to be forced to do anything, but to be inspired to choose to change, that seems to work.
It works better that way than to come down on people unnecessarily. They're in enough trouble as it is without us adding to it. We can wrap this up in 10 minutes, can't we? So the football game, when the...
Oh, I'll wrap